The Business Owners Podcast is brought to you by Business, Business, Business and Eniver Group with your hosts, Linda Reid Eniver and Clive Eniver. In each episode, we talk to other business owners about their experiences, challenges and successes. We'll also share tips and advice on how to grow your business and achieve your goals. If you're a business owner or you're thinking about starting a business, then the Business Owners Podcast is for you.
Welcome to the Business Owners Podcast. My name is Clive Eniver, and along with Linda Reid Eniver, I am your host. In each episode, we bring you practical tips, expert insights, and inspiring stories from successful business owners. Today, I'm having a conversation with Darren Fleming about mastering mindset. Hello, Darren. Welcome, and please introduce yourself to our listeners.
I am a behavioural scientist and the author of Mindset Mastery. I show people how to control their attention so they can focus and get stuff done. You know what it's like when you sit down to do a task, potentially you don't want to do it, but you've got to, and your mind keeps wandering to something better that's coming this afternoon or something you did yesterday, or heaven forbid, you start thinking, why did I say that last night? When you get sticky thoughts in your head and those thoughts just take over what it is you're thinking and doing, productivity is hard. I specialise in deactivating that so people can achieve what they need to.
It's good to have you here, Darren. What's the most important lesson you've learned in your business journey, and how did that impact your business?
Yeah, the most important lesson I've learned is there is not one most important lesson. People who ask, what's the one thing I should do to be better at this, or one thing I need to do to be better at that, is to realise that there is not one thing. Success, reaching your goal, is not about I did one thing, therefore I achieved it. It's about I did something and that led me to the next spot, which led me to the next spot, which led me to the next spot. You're going to make wrong decisions along the way. And what happens is when you make the wrong decision, it's about not dwelling on it and moving forward to the next decision. What we do today is always changed by what happens in the future. The present is always changing the past. An example of this would be just someone investing in the share market. They bought the shares at, say, $1 each, and in 2 weeks' time, they're worth $2 each. Sounds like a good investment. But another 2 weeks, they're only worth 50 cents each. So today, you would look at it and say that was a bad investment, whereas 2 weeks ago, you would have said it was a good investment. The present moment is always changing the past. So realise that there's not one thing that you need to do, and that whatever you do, it'll turn out in a way, and you just got to deal with that.
It's often said, Darren, that the best lessons are learned from failures or mistakes. What's a mistake you made early in your career that you can pass on to our listeners so that they might avoid the same error?
Early in my career, I made so many mistakes. It's a big one, and I work a lot with a lot of clients around this. It's around backing yourself. No one's listening. You put out a video on YouTube and you might not do it correctly, or Instagram or TikTok or wherever it is. The reality is no one's listening. They don't care to you, and to them, you don't matter. That's a mantra by Matt Church, a gentleman out of Sydney. No one's listening. No one cares. So just move. Just go forward. I look at what I did when I started my practice back in 2011, and I look at it and go, oh my goodness, that is so bad. But no one else looks at it. No one cares. So just keep going. Don't make the mistake of thinking you have to be perfect, you have to be ready, because if you wait to be perfect, if you wait to be ready, you're going to be sitting on your tail.
Throughout life, Darren, we typically run into mentors, and from our mentors, we learn many things. What's a standout, something that you have learned from a mentor that you can pass on to our listeners that they might use that in their business life?
Different lessons by mentors. Mentors have made a huge impact in my life, my business life. One of the things that I've basically learned from them is you need a mentor. Even if they're not experts in what it is that you do, the difference between a coach and a mentor, a coach sits there and helps you work out what's going on in your situation. A mentor has been there before. So you get to draw on their wisdom. Mentors are one of the mentors I had when I was very young. I was talking to, I was maybe in my 20s, very early 20s, and trying to get my business going. And I said, oh, this is wrong. And I've tried this and I've tried that. And I've tried the next thing. And very white, he was a lawyer, Kevin Foley was his name, in Wagga Wagga. And he said to me, Darren, looking at all those situations, what's the common element in them? And I looked at him for a minute and I said, I reckon the common element is blah. And he go, yeah, it might be. But I reckon the common element in all of them is you're the only common element across all of these situations where things are going wrong. Maybe you're the problem. And when I realised that all of that, gee, it hurt. Oh, it hurt big time. But it was true.
Very true, Darren. Facing up to what the real problem is can be quite confronting. What's a lesson that you can pass on to our listeners now that will help them understand the path, the way forward?
My clients and people that I friend to is the world is happening for you, not to you. It was the Stoic philosopher, so I'm talking Marcus Aurelius and that ilk, who said the obstacle is the way. So in other words, the thing that you think is going wrong is the way to what it is that you want. I want to be a successful business person. The universe, and this is my belief, there's no proof to this, but I tell you what, it's pretty true. I want to be a successful business person. The universe goes, awesome. For you to be a successful business person, you need to develop these skills. To develop these skills, you've got to overcome this problem. And all of a sudden, bam, that problem lands on your lap. The obstacle is the way. The other part around this, so these two are matched together, and this draws on my background in psychology and philosophy. It was Carl Jung, who was a student of and eventually contemporary to Sigmund Freud, the father of modern psychology. Jung said that until we make the unconscious conscious, it'll continue to turn up in our life and we will just call it fate. So the business person who says, I want to be a successful business person, the universe goes, awesome, here's a problem. That is about some programming inside us that needs to be made conscious. It is unconscious. So the universe goes, okay, here is the situation. So you can make that unconscious conscious. You've got to work through it. You've got to deactivate it. You've got to deprogram it. The world happens for you, not to you. You want all of these things and the universe goes, awesome. This is how you get to it. Deactivate these programs. Because if you want to be a successful business person, by definition, you are not, because you don't want to be something you already are. So if you want to be that, the universe goes, this is how you get there. These are the steps you need to go through. The obstacle is the way. Get through that. The unconscious will come up and be made conscious. Deactivate that, and then you can move forward.
It seems we're developing a bit of a theme here, Darren. Look inside, work on self. All very good. Thank you for coming on to the Business Owners Podcast, Darren. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to you and learning from the lessons that you've experienced and passed on to us. For our listeners, where can they find you? How do they get in contact with you?
My website, darrenfleming.com.au, 1M in Fleming, and on all the socials. LinkedIn is my main one. Look for the guy with the bald head and the big beard.
Thanks, Darren. You've given us some great advice to take advantage of through our chat. Thanks for joining us on the Business Owners Podcast. And be sure to join us for our next episode. And, of course, check out the back catalogue because each one has gems of wisdom inside it.
Thanks for listening to the Business Owners Podcast. We encourage you to connect with us on social media and join our community of business owners at businessbusinessbusiness.com.au.
Tired of your car insurance rate going up, even with a clean driving record? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/LIBSYN.
Working across teams is tough, but Asana helps you handle it. That's because Asana is where humans and AI coordinate work together. AI can spot roadblocks and assign work in a snap, so everything and everyone stays on track. That's how work gets handled. That's Asana. Visit us at asana.com. That's ASANA.com.